What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal Wednesday team here. You have myself, Alpha Dog Bets, here with JD from Line Movers, and we have our guy, Hefe Picks, here as always. Hefe, what's going on, brother?
What's up, fellas? What is up? What is going on?
Hey,
Beautiful
man,
Wednesday in the neighborhood.
you got to tell us what's going on. We let the people on Monday were asking where you were, what was going on. I did say that Hefe was down in Tampa, enjoying the beautiful weather. Also saw some great pictures of you with the Yankees, enjoying spring training. How was your trip to Tampa? And welcome back to the show.
It was good, man. Met Aaron Boone, met Marcus Stroman, nice people. No, Tampa was cold, so
Cold.
no difference from home.
Really? Well, question, what did you tell Marcus Stroman? Did you tell him that we're ready for him to be traded and to shut the hell up and agree to be a reliever? Like, what did you speak to Stroman about?
Nothing really, other than just wish him luck, wish him health. No, honestly, was in a great mood. He just left dinner with Hal and Aaron Boone, and seemed like he was in a great mood. Maybe that's a sign of something to come. Maybe it's not. Booney was in a fantastic mood. Honestly, spoke to him for like 3-4 minutes. He was in such a good mood.
Love that.
Hal just looked like an old guy. I just let him go.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything to him either. Over to JD. How are you today, brother? I know you have a busy day. How are you?
Yeah, man, definitely busy day. Coming off a big day, so that's always good.
We're not there yet, JD. We're not there yet. You know we got the recap.
Yeah. I also feel like I have to sneeze, but I can't, and it's the absolute worst right this second.
I hate that. So I'll give you a second to breathe here. We'll go into our recap from Tuesday. Hefe, we're going to start with you. How did you do yesterday?
Said it was a weird day. Did good in the NBA. Cavs came up for us. Man, are they just
I had the Cavs as well.
Rolling train. We had a Max Christie player prop on points that hit in the NBA as well. College basketball 1-for-1. We had a very good showing. Sorry, I'm blanking out on the team. I can't remember if it was Missouri, maybe? Or did they lose last night?
Missouri won by 1,000,000.
Yes. Missouri came through for us last night, while Iowa State decided to look like a fraud.
Iowa State looked bad yesterday. It's a great way to segue into it.
1-1.
There we go. JD, how'd you do yesterday?
Good, man. It was a really good day for us. As far as in college basketball, I had a 3-0 day, which means I'm on a 12-1 run now.
Let's go.
So actually, college is definitely heating up at just the right time here.
There we go. Well, that's a good way to segue, fellas. We're going to dive into college basketball to start today. Quickly, I'll go over my recap. My big play was the Lakers -9. The Lakers won by 8. Frustrating game. They had a big lead for most of the game, and at the end of the third quarter to the early fourth, they played pretty lousy. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I also had Luka Doncic over 9.5 rebounds. He cashed that midway through the second quarter, which was awesome to see. So that was a good one. And I also had the Cavs yesterday, which was a good win for me. But fellas, it's a great time to segue into our college basketball slate. You boys ready to dive in?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it, gentlemen. College basketball breakdown. The first game we're breaking down today is my favorite game that we're breaking down on the slate, which is going to be Michigan State going to Maryland. Spread on this game is 4.5. Michigan State comes into this game 22-5. They're 15-3 in conference, and they're currently ranked 8th in the nation. Going into Maryland, who are not sure the right way to do that, who are 21-6 on the year and 11-5 in conference. Maryland is coming in 16th ranked in the nation right now. This game is in Maryland, so they are a favorite. ESPN BPI is giving Maryland a 61% chance to win this game, while giving Michigan State a 39% chance. Hefe, we're going to start with you. What do you like in this game?
I'll tell you what I like. I like personally that both these teams are playing really good basketball right now. Michigan State coming off, I don't know if the biggest win of the season thus far, but I think possibly at Michigan. Never an easy place to play. But don't look now. Maryland's probably the best they've been in quite some time. I don't know if they're as good as their Juan Dixon, Steve Blake championship years back in the early 2000s. You like that?
I did.
But listen, this guy Derek Queen, he's a baller. And he's going to be one of those players that if you don't know about him now, come tourney time, you'll learn about him.
I agree.
I think this is a line that is moving. This opened at, I was at 3.5 earlier today. It's at 4.5 right now. I even see it at 5.5 in some places. I'm looking at it like this. Michigan State just had a whole lot of big wins on national television. You're going into Maryland, you can get 4.5 upwards of 5.5 points on them. That's where Vegas wants you. I'm going the other way. I'm taking the Terps at home.
I am on the exact opposite side. I'm taking Michigan State here. I have on FanDuel right now. It's at a -105 for the +3.5. So I'm not sure where if you're saying a 5.5 anywhere.
ESPN bet.
I would take that now.
Yeah.
I would take that now because I'm not seeing that line or anywhere close to that line anywhere. Michigan State's a team I'm going to be on probably for the rest of the year, and I am going to be on them in the tournament. They have a freshman, Jace Richardson, who is the son of Josh Richardson, who is just starting to come into his own game and has been playing some fantastic basketball.
Definitely is not the son of Josh Richardson, who's still playing in the NBA, more like Jason Richardson.
Jason Richardson, one of the Richardsons. There's 800 of them. I'm a big State guy.
Would be wild
Jace,
if it was a Josh Richardson.
it's true. Jace has been unbelievable, though. This team has been very good. They have two very talented big men as well. Jackson Kohler, I'm a big fan of. They also have Cooper off the bench. And this team has it on all levels of their team. Akins is a very strong point guard. He's a point guard hybrid 2-guard, but he does handle the ball a lot. They also have Holloman as well. And this team has some straight up dogs on their roster. I'm all over Michigan State here, plus the 3.5. Definitely one of my favorite plays today. JD, you riding with me? You riding with Hefe? You're doing a team total. What do you got?
You know what? I was going to come on and say that actually at like 3.5, I thought it was going to, or I thought that was a very sharp line. Because Maryland, as far as everything to me, like as far as the line goes, at 3.5, the line makes perfect sense. These, like y'all like both said, these both teams are playing very well. State though, this is a team that I do not want to bet against.
Yep.
So I'm either going to back them or either actually stay off the game. But this number is moving quick. Yeah, it's up to 5 in lots of places. It's up to 5.5 at one spot.
That's crazy.
I was going to stay off, but at 5.5, I have to lean the Michigan State way.
Yeah, if you can get that, that's a great number.
I was about to say, I mean, like you can get 5 at actually multiple spots. So like
that's great.
So it's definitely on the way. I'm probably gonna sit back and just see how high this like number goes. Because I'm not really sure. I don't see.
Must mean some big money coming in on the Terps.
I was about to say because I don't see any news. I'm trying to find now.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I just looked. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, unless it'll come out in the next few minutes or whatever.
Right.
I mean, Maryland is exceptional at home. I think they're like 6-1 or something.
And they are every year. Every single year, that's the thing about Maryland. They're a very tough team to
one
beat.
of the thing, Michigan State has 2 solid road wins in a row at Illinois and Michigan. It could be one of those things where it's like, I mean, they can't just keep being road warriors like this. But I understand what JD's saying. 5.5 points is huge. You're not asking Michigan State to win. You're just asking cover.
Same with 3.5 too. I think this is going to be a close game.
I'll ask you this question. I'll ask JD this. At the old line of 3.5, would you have taken the points or you want Michigan State money line?
That was a complete. If it was at 3.5.
Yeah, like how it was this morning when you.
Well, like I said, at that number, like I think that was the number like it should be. Like I think that was like perfect there.
But you were going to take the points, right? You were never thinking about the line, taking them straight up.
Correct. Yes.
There we go. One question for you guys before we get off this game. It looks like we have 2 people asking the exact same question. Aiden is asking Arkansas and Nebraska to make the tournament at +120. Is that crazy? Bold News is also asking the exact same thing for the same parlay. Maybe you guys are friends and talked about it and really wanted an answer here.
We're missing something.
Yeah, that's crazy. We have the same question twice. Let's take a look here. Let's pull up the Big Ten standings and let's see exactly where Nebraska stands. They're out. I don't have to go much further. They're out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nebraska is currently the 10th ranked team in the Big Ten. That's not going to cut it this year. It's just not. The teams right behind Nebraska that are looking to catch them are Ohio State and Rutgers. And Rutgers is beyond out of the NCAA tournament unless they do win the Big Ten tournament. Nebraska is currently sitting at 7-10 in the Big Ten. They're under 500 in their conference. I don't see any way that they do get in unless they have a big performance in the Big Ten tournament. And I don't think that is going to happen. I'm not a big backer of Nebraska this year. They lost a few big home games, including to Rutgers. They have not had the same dominant home court that we're used to, and I just don't see any way Nebraska gets in unless they make a big run in the Big Ten tournament, which I don't see. What do you guys think about it?
I think I wouldn't choose both. I think Ark probably gets in maybe as one of those last four with a bye, or maybe even last four in type of deal. But I would need to look at who they have to play over their last few games here.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, Aiden, I will say, and same with crypto. Nebraska's minus 165 to make the tournament right now. I don't like that at all. I really don't think that's going to happen. The further we get along, I just don't really see them getting in. They're minus 165, though, right now, which is kind of crazy. I didn't expect to see that. So maybe there's something
I'll tell you one thing.
But
I'm looking at a BetMGM number from last night. It's saying that Arkansas is last four in odds are minus 300.
Yeah, I have minus 270 on FanDuel and then minus 165 for Nebraska. I just don't see it. We have a question here from Jolly Roger. What's up, Raj? We appreciate you tuning in, bro. Who's the most likely long shot to get an auto bid in the tournament? Rutgers, because they're winning the Big Ten tournament. There you go. Anything from you guys on that?
Long shot.
I have to go through all the conferences. I'm not ready for that
SEC
yet.
is a freaking gauntlet where literally any team could win the SEC, but I don't think any of the teams that can win are a long shot because there's 10 teams that are going to make the tournament no matter what.
Yeah. So more to come on that, Raj. Ask us when we get closer, like right when we get through tournament season.
Maybe Big Ten, maybe Big Ten, but I wouldn't obviously sit. Yeah, or you know what? Fine, screw it. Rutgers, Jolly, it's Rutgers. I give in. I give up.
JD, who do you got?
More than likely, I would choose a
Duke
team out of
long
ACC.
shot?
I would choose a team out of ACC just because you really only have Duke, Clemson, and the hell's the other third team I'm blacking out on? The Gators. No, they're not in the ACC.
No,
they're in the
Who's
SEC.
the third team in the ACC? I'm blanking out right now.
Pull up the ACC. Let's take a look. Standings, ACC.
Clemson.
There you go.
Clemson.
Yeah, ACC is pretty weak this year. Only 3 ranked teams.
So
somebody could win out of there.
Yeah, let's actually just talk about that for a second. The ACC, like,
if this was soccer, then you would be getting relegated right now.
Like, this conference has been so strong for so long, and this year it is just.
Is Jim Larinaga still the head coach?
It's a great question. I thought he left. He might be June. Let me look.
Because this record can't be real.
Yeah, no. He retired.
Okay, thank God.
So this is the first year without Larinaga. So that makes sense. They're having a bit of a down year. Also, you guys have to remember, the entire landscape of college sports has changed since NIL. If you're, some of these teams do not have the same budget as some of the other teams that are pouring it in. Teams like St. John's that nobody expected to be a player. Now that NIL is here, they have the second highest NIL spending this year, and they're top 10 in the nation because they have one booster who's supplying everything and they can buy. So the landscape of college basketball is completely changed right now. A lot of these conferences have not been great. Tar Heel is here. What's up, Tar Heel? The ACC has no respect. Lost all top coaches in conference. Yeah, you're not wrong. The ACC does have no respect. I mean, we just went over the teams that are in the ACC. Let's take a look at it again. Duke, they're for real. They're ranked second in the nation, 16-1 in conference, 25-3 overall. After them, Louisville, very good, 15-2, 22-6 on the year. After them, Clemson, like we said, 14-2, 22-5 on the year. After that, it's a steep drop off. It's Wake Forest, who's 19-8, 11-5 in conference. SMU, who's 20-7. SMU to me is a fake team. I know we're kind of all over the place right now, but the ACC doesn't have many teams I believe in. And right after them is North Carolina and Tar Heel. You have been asking them to lose all year long, so they fire the coach. We know how Tar Heel feels about that. So yeah, St. John's has been fantastic. What's up, Doc? We appreciate you jumping in, Billy. St. John's has been fantastic. The big booster that St. John's has, I forget the guy's name.
Mike Rapoli.
Mike Rapoli, thank you. The guy who owned the Kentucky Derby horse. This guy is spending so much money on St. John's.
Girlfriend's ex-CEO.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that guy's pouring money in. It's great for that program. That's exactly what Rutgers should be, and it's a little frustrating. So enough on that. All right, boys, you ready to go to the second game on the slate today, which is going to be Kentucky taking on Oklahoma. And we have a couple questions on this game, so we will cover this game quite frequently. Before we go over the game, Bold Strip News is asking, could Oklahoma get hot late in the SEC tournament and make a run? They could. They're 17-10 on the year, but they're 4-10 in conference. So it's tough for me to think they're going to make a run in the tournament when they are 4-10.
The SEC conference, those like the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals, obviously, is going to be all top 25 ranked teams. It's going to be like a mini Elite Eight almost because of the amount, hoping that the good teams make it, of course.
Yeah.
But like, it's going to be a gauntlet. I almost feel bad for them.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think they could get hot and they might be able to make some noise, but I don't think they'll be able to sustain it. Maybe they win 1 or 2 games, but the SEC is such a gauntlet right now. I just don't see how long.
You see what Alabama did to a pretty good Mississippi State team yesterday, and then versus how Alabama looked against other SEC teams in the previous 2 games. You can't even predict this stuff. They're just absolutely bloodbathing each other.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 1,000%. So let's tune our attention back to this game. Hefe, we're going to start with you. What do you like in Kentucky versus Oklahoma tonight? Kentucky's coming in 18-9 in the year, but they're a 500 conference team. They're 7-7 in conference, while Oklahoma, like we said, they're 17-10 on the year. They've done great out of conference, but in conference, they're only 4-10. Hefe, what you got?
Such a interesting game here because defensively, I think these teams match up pretty well, but offensively, when Kentucky's playing their brand of basketball, they can outscore anybody. They just haven't been playing that type of brand as much as we're used to. I still think there's this image of Kentucky from John Calipari days that is staying with them in terms of like the value that you can get on them in wagering. But I'm kind of find myself leaning towards the Sooners here. Not too good in the last 5 games. They're 1-4, but their most recent victory at home is against a good Mississippi State team, even though they did not look good last night. But I'm telling you, Mississippi State's a good, scrappy, defensive team. And Oklahoma was able to put 93 on them. If Oklahoma plays a lot better at home, I know, Alfie, you just said their SEC record is trash, 4-10.
Yep.
I'm rolling with the Sooners at home. I don't love this Kentucky team. I don't believe in them. I think they don't really have an identity. So give me the Sooners plus 130 on the money line. I'm not even going to take the points.
I think the line tells you everything you need to know. I'm going to be a little bit more of the B word than you. I am going to take the points, but I'm also on Oklahoma. This line, to me, should be a little higher on the Kentucky side. I know Kentucky really struggles on defense. However, in this game, they're going up against an Oklahoma team that is coming in off their biggest win of the year. As we said, at home against Mississippi State. They're at home again tonight, and I'm going to be taking the points with Oklahoma. I think they will keep this one close, and I'm in the same exact boat as Hefe. Kentucky, to me, is not a team I will be backing in the NCAA tournament. I've watched them a ton this year. I don't think they're good enough defensively to really make a deep run this year. So for me, like I said, I'm with Hefe 1,000%. Give me Oklahoma plus 2.5. JD, what you got?
Yeah.
Guys, great comment, Bold Stripe News. I agree. They don't play any defense at all.
As actually, like, as far as the Wildcats go, on the road,
2-6.
they are actually 2-6. They just have not been actually good on the road. But if you think that they can't play defense, though, well, actually, Oklahoma against the 2-point shot ranks outside the top 300. Oklahoma cannot defend the 2-point shot. And guess what Kentucky does very, very well is they shoot 2-pointers extremely well at a very high clip. That's why I definitely lean over in this game. But as far as Kentucky goes, I think this is actually with this late in the season, it's kind of hard to say it's a buy low spot. But kind of like a kind of like buy low spot here. I actually think this line should be more around 5. So yeah, I actually haven't bet this yet. I'm deciding if I want to play them on the spread or either play their team total over.
Okay.
Because I definitely see tonight a lot of points.
There we go. All right. Well, fellas, that's the last of our college basketball breakdown today. But you fellas ready to dive into a little NBA action?
Let's do it.
Don't everyone sound so excited at once. I mean,
let's roll.
Thank you very much. All right, boys.
Listen, it's not your fault. College basketball is just about to be the best time of the year, and the NBA is in those dog days where it's kind of just like.
I mean, I don't feel that way about the NBA, but we are about to get into the best time of the year for basketball. college.
Speaking of a team that I
professional,
feel
doesn't matter.
very, very sleepy about right now.
There we go. Kick us off, FA. We got the 76ers taking on our New York Knicks. The Philadelphia 76ers are coming in 20-37. They are 10-17 on the road, taking on Knicks team that only beats shit teams. The Knicks are 37-20 on the year and 20-10 at home. FA, gonna go to you first as a fellow Knicks fan. What do you got?
I can give you my long answer and explain how I feel about the Knicks, or I could just keep it really, really short. What would you rather?
Well, JD, you have the busy day today, right? Which would you prefer?
I don't have much to say on actually this game.
Take it away, Hef.
So yeah, just go and
Do
go.
what you do.
The Knicks, man, what a paradox. What a weird situation to be in, where you are basically Buffalo billing it up. You can beat all the teams that are less than you in the regular season, and come the playoffs, you have to prove to your fan base year in, year out that you can compete with the best of the best. And even though you have players that your fans love, adore, something's not working, something's not clicking, something's missing. Do I, as a Knicks fan, think that Mitch Robinson's going to come in and solve everything?
Oh.
Absolutely effing not. Pardon my Jay. Do I know you? Do I know you in real life?
He says this line every day in our Knicks group.
Who is
There's
this
a bunch
guy?
of us, but that's exactly what.
Does this
Hefner
guy know
says
me?
frequently? What that the Knicks are stuck in. The
I've never heard
mediocrity.
anybody say my phrase
Neither have I.
before.
Neither have I.
Wow, I'm rendered speechless. Treadmill and mediocrity is exactly where the Knicks are, and it's the worst place to be in professional sports, all right? Because you are not bad enough to draft low enough to change the fortune of your franchise. You're not good enough to compete in the playoffs versus the top tier, so you just stay on this fucking circle forever. All right, and you go nowhere, and you waste years of good players, and you get now to the end, and they suck. They're old. The Knicks have a serious problem. I think the coach is a problem. I think the style of play is a problem. And even though I like on paper the idea of a really tall lineup with Mitch, Cat, OG, Bridges, and Brunson, Hart coming off the bench, that they are
Great.
They are Hall of Fame media. Yes. Oh man, Hall of Fame are the Steelers. Even though I like that lineup in the playoffs, man, when it becomes situational basketball and it slows down, good luck to Mitch or Cat on a pick and roll with two guards. We've seen how that plays out. It ends up in an and one for that guard. Back to this game. Thank God that the Philadelphia 76ers are actually a bottom 5 franchise in terms of competency in professional American sports. They suck. They're an embarrassment. Joel Embiid, I have no idea if he's ever going to play basketball at the level that we saw him play for 1 to 2 years. Paul George's knees are 72 years old. And I feel bad for Tyrese Maxey because he's a great player that just got signed to a lot of money. That's basically going to be, in my opinion, a part of a rebuild for the next 1 to 2 years because I don't see this team winning anything other than a draft lottery anytime soon.
Yeah. Do you have a bet on this game? Do you have a bet on the game? You said your feelings about these teams, but then didn't say anything about the game tonight.
The Knicks by 10, and it means absolutely nothing to me.
Well, the Knicks are favored by 10, so that would be a push. So what are you doing here? No play for you?
Knicks to win by 25, and I'm no more happier than I am right now.
Okay. Well, I have a couple rebuttals on things you did say. So the Knicks don't make the playoffs every year. This is still new for us. So I know a lot of Knicks fans are like, we have to win right now.
No.
We haven't made the playoffs that much in our lifetime. So you know what? We're still getting there. The Knicks are a very young team. I don't think they're on the treadmill of mediocrity yet. We're not there yet. We're still very young, but I do agree with you. There's a lot of things wrong with the team currently. I am somebody who thinks Tom Thibodeau needs to go. I was somebody who said that last year. All our friends in the Knicks chat, including this guy below me, laughed at me for saying that, but it's true. I'm not a big Tom Thibodeau guy, and I also don't like the contract they gave OG Anunoby. That's all I'm going to say in that. Back to this game. Back to this specific game. Why do the 76ers want to win another game this year? Why would they want to win another game this year? They should be going in all tank mode. There's absolutely nothing that this Sixers team can do. maybe the Knicks should trust the process. Hefe, you need to trust the process. I'm not out on it yet. I still believe the Knicks are a good team. I don't think we're going to have the Knicks have the team to win this year.
Trusting
they're
the
talking.
process.
I think that's more about the other side of this and kind of a joke. But
I got you.
Over to this game specifically, I don't see any way you could back Philly. Over to the injury report, Eric Gordon is out. Justin Edwards and Quentin Grimes both game time decisions. Kyle Lowry's out and Yabusele's out. So the 76ers have zero depth tonight. It's tough betting a double-digit spread right now, but this is what the Knicks do. They beat up on lousy teams. This is the absolute best spot for the Knicks right now. These are the type of games they blow out. The fan base, like me and Hefe, are like, oh my God, the Knicks won by 30. We're right back. Then they play the Celtics tomorrow. They'll lose by 90. So, but this is a spot that I do think the Knicks
Grizzlies on Friday, which is a big look ahead spot. Look out for the injury report for the Knicks. Last game Cat played. Mitch is back on Friday, but last game the Cat played, he was injured, came back in, played. Oh, I can go on a 50-minute rant about the fact that Tibbs brought him back in when you're down 20 with 4 minutes left. There he was clutching his knee on the bench, whatever. I could see a scenario where Cat doesn't go tonight just because it's the
they don't need him.
Exactly, and big game on Friday. You're introducing Mitch back on the court. I know limited minutes, but still big game. So if you're a Knicks backer, I almost would tell you maybe wait because I don't see this line getting bigger. I see it getting more favorable for the Knicks based upon the game time decisions.
I would agree. Just wait till you get a little lineup information, but with everything we have right now in this spot, I would definitely be on the Knicks minus the 10. JD, what do you got?
Yeah, man, 76ers, they haven't covered a game in a very long time now. I don't know exactly when it was, but it is definitely.
This is a crazy comment, by the way. It's a crazy comment, by the way.
I think. Wait, see the word contender. We are a contender.
They're a contender right now. The Knicks are currently a contender. They're third in the Eastern Conference.
I'll put it to you like this: in the NFL, do you guys consider the Steelers a contender?
No.
Okay.
They don't have a quarterback. I digress.
I mean, like, when they get towards, like, the Steelers make the playoffs every year, right? Mm-hmm. You don't ever just look at him and be like, yeah, they could pull off a miracle win here. I think the Knicks are a contender, yes. But I think that in terms of taking the next step, they're not. They're not going to get past the second round this year.
Here's what I consider a contender. Are you a top 5 team in the league? Are the Knicks a top 5 team in the NBA this year? I would say they're 4 or 5. So,
I was about to say they're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say they're a contender. JD, finish up what you're doing. I apologize for Hefferoni down there.
This is a game that I'm not going to bet, but if I would, this would be one of those games where I would make sure to not lay juice. If you want the Knicks, I would actually definitely sell a couple points here. Just actually so you're not laying juice, like actually go up to like a -12 at +110 or actually something like that. Because this is a game I see the Knicks either winning by 6 or they actually win by like 25. So it's, yeah.
Aiden, your comments right now are insane. Your comments are just insane. Hefe, you have to see this one. The Knicks are like the Chargers, a team with no all-stars that's just well coached. I don't think that's the Knicks. I don't. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't think they're anywhere remotely comparable to the Chargers. What's up, Joe? Our guy Joe is here. Is he on with you today, JD, at 5?
Yep.
Make sure you guys check out that show. Joe's been giving out some absolute bangers on there. Before we move to the next game, David has his no sweat parlay today. I don't know if I would call it a no sweat, but David's been money. I like that he's on Michigan State plus the 9.5. Temple under Z 159. I think that's just 159.5. And High Point under 170. Oklahoma plus 7.5. And SMU plus 2.5. David's going crazy today, but David, let's see you hit another big parlay, brother. I know you've been absolutely killing it. All right, boys. The next game we're going to be going over is the weirdest line of the day. It's a game we absolutely have to talk about, and it's the Boston Celtics going into Detroit and taking on the Pistons. The Celtics are coming in 42-16 on the year. They are 24-6 on the road. This Celtics team is better on the road than they are at home. A weird stat for them this year. Pistons, on the other side, they are 32-26. However, they are 15-13 at home. Over to the injury report, and it is a CVS receipt for the Celtics. Luke Cornett, game time decision. Al Horford, game time decision. Kristaps Porzingis, game time decision. So, before I continue, all their big men, not a couple of them, All their big men are game-time decisions. Then you have Jrue Holiday, their best defensive player, is a game-time decision. And then you have Drew Peterson, the kid out of USC. Shout out, Rod. You were here earlier, but I believe Peterson was one of yours. On the other side, for the Pistons, Simone Fontenecchio is a game-time decision. Ron Harper Jr. didn't know he got the call up to the Pistons. Rutgers boy. Let's fucking go, Ron Harper Jr. He's a game-time decision. And Jaden Ivey is going to be out as well. Hefe, break it down. What do you got in Celtics Pistons tonight?
So just looking at the last 3 times these guys played, I mean, Celtics beat them up 3-0 versus them season long, 2 wins by double digits. But the last time that they played was first half of December. And let me tell you, this is not the same Pistons team.
That's true.
This Pistons team is playing great basketball, led by Cade Cunningham, who is having his best year and showing that he's well worth the max rookie extension that he signed and can possibly lead this franchise, to better places than they were in the past, which is pretty much a top 5 pick every year.
Anywhere out of the cellar is better than where they've been.
But look, I mean, the Celtics are the Celtics. They're a great team, but this is giving so much of a look ahead game for the Celtics. You know the Celtics play on Friday, the next game? It's the Cavs.
Yeah.
The matchup that, everybody wants to see pretty much. You're in Detroit. You know that you got a flight to home to host Cleveland. The line is sketchy because you could just look at this on paper and be like, Celtics. I'm in Detroit? Yeah. Or better yet, Celtics money line is only what? Absolutely. And you fail to realize that the Pistons have won 7 games in a row. They're playing great basketball. They are playing just together. It's not just Cade Cunningham, right? It's other guys. I know somebody just shouted out Jalen Duren or Duran. I have no idea how to say his name. Duran. The Thompson twin that they have, because I'm not even going to try to figure it out which one it is. It's the one that doesn't. It's the one that doesn't choke out players and get kicked out of games. But Malik Beasley, guys, is absolutely balling out for the Pistons real quietly. He's becoming a really good weapon for them, especially shooting wise. Call me crazy. I don't know the last time I took the Pistons over the Celtics, but there you go. That one. I'm taking the Pistons. I'm taking them with the points, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm feeling a little bit that I might even sprinkle the money line, because if they can keep it this close, the way that they've been playing, they could win this game. And like I said, a big thought process in my head is the Celtics got the Cavs on Friday. This game, they win, they lose, whatever.
Let me bring up one thing here. Which of these two teams is on a longer winning streak right
now? The Pistons, probably.
The Pistons are on a 7-game win streak right now, while the Celtics are on a 6-game win streak. The Pistons are very good. Hefe broke it down beautifully. This team has played good basketball all year long, especially in the last month or so. They've really been turning it up, and they really have a pretty talented team. They're very young, but they're coming into their own, and they're playing some great basketball. This line stinks. The Celtics should be a significantly bigger favorite than 4.5 against the Pistons. I don't care if this game's in Detroit. I don't care if this game's in Boston. I don't care if this game's in Australia. I don't care if this game's in China. Wherever the hell they play this game, whoever the hell is home, the Celtics in a normal situation would be favored by at least 7 points, in my opinion. They're the significantly better team. But we went over it earlier. Bold Stripe, I see you asking a couple questions here. Do you think any Celtics will sit? I know you said you wanted some Pritchard props. The big men is the question mark. We read the injury report earlier, but let me revisit that. Luke Cornett, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, all game-time decisions. That's all their big men. So I do think they will be without 1 or 2 at least of their big guys tonight, as well as Jrue Holiday is the game-time decision. So it looks like the point guards will be playing. And exactly what Hefe said, it's a huge look-ahead spot for the Celtics team. This game means nothing to them. Friday's game means everything to them. It is a statement game. It'll be the biggest game probably for the next month or so for both of those teams. So I think both those teams are going to be locked in and ready to battle. So for me, yet again, I am going to be taking the Pistons plus the 4.5. I also do like them to win it outright as a little small sprinkle. Joe, great comment there.
I thought it would be bigger. It's only plus 150 on the money line for the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that much.
No, they're not offering great value on it. Jrue Holiday set yesterday, so maybe he plays today. Who knows? All I know is I'm definitely going to be taking the Pistons. Guys, do you ever have that team that just is your team for the year? You're not a fan of that team, But it seems like whenever you bet them, they do right by you. And the Pistons are that team for me this year. I don't think I've won more bets on any other team than the Detroit Pistons. They've been fantastic for me. I'm going to continue riding that trend. Give me the Pistons plus the 4.5, and I will sprinkle on the money line as well. JD, what you got, brother? Muted.
Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I had to mute myself because I sounded like a plane was about to land like on my house.
Well, I'm glad it didn't.
That's an untimely joke.
Yeah.
That took me a second. I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, take everything that like both of y'all said. I'm on the same side here. This is the Pistons play for me. Trying to come up with reasons why that maybe y'all didn't say because y'all really covered this game really well. They actually played the Raptors. That was actually last night, and having to travel there and then having to travel here tonight. I know that travel, as far as it's not very long, but having to cross the cross the border though. Nobody likes doing that. So it's not really a great travel spot either. Celtics are on the back-to-back. That's when I look to go against them because I'm not looking to go against them much. So yeah, to me, this is a Celtics kind of like look ahead spot, and then you have an actual Pistons team. They're a young team. They are a very hungry team. They're going to be up for this game.
Agreed.
Yeah, for me and everything, actually, like y'all said, this is a Pistons play.
This is a good question here from Aiden. I've seen you ask it a couple times. Why are the ratings so low? Here, I'll give you an example why. Let me go over the games tonight and see if you can identify the reason I think the ratings are so low. Raptors versus the Pacers, an 11-point spread. Blazers versus the Wizards, 7-point spread. Celtics, Pistons, 4.5. 76ers, Knicks, 10. Atlanta Hawks, Miami, 2.5. OKC Nets, 17. Clippers, Bulls, 9. Kings, Jazz, 10. Rockets, Spurs, 9.5. If you can't pick up what I'm alluding to, it's because there's a massive talent gap in the NBA this year. There's either really decent teams or really good teams or really bad teams. And I don't think there's many in between. So a lot of the games are very not, what's the right word? I don't want to say very not good basketball because that's awful English. But the games are not competitive. Some of the games are just not competitive. And the level of play has gone down because I think there is a little bit of a talent gap right now in the NBA. I think there is a little bit of a weakness in talent. I think there's some teams that have guys in there that are just not that great. And in past years, there were better players in the NBA. So I do think that is hurting the ratings right now. What do you guys think before we get into the final game?
Yeah, man, same. There's a humongous gap there. We've actually talked about this actually like all year long. The gap is just it's just so wide. So yeah, I mean, actually, like I think that like really is like the biggest reason why.
There's so many uncompetitive games every night. When have you ever had an NBA season where over half the lines are double-digit spreads? Over half the games every single night feels like you got to figure out some +10, some +11s if you really want to get down in with a lot of games. And it's not fun to get into that. Hefe, what do you think?
I think it's the dog days of the NBA season right now. That's what I think.
But ratings are low all year. This is a record low for the NBA this year.
Oh yeah, it's the league is so damn top heavy. Look,
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said.
Look at the Eastern Conference. It's a joke, guys.
There's three teams.
There's gonna be playing teams that are like 15 games under 500. Okay, like it's the Nets have a chance to be a playing team. Do you understand?
It's bad.
Yeah. We're gonna have to watch the Nets possibly, for whatever reason, playing a playing game, and if they win, they're going to go get swept by the Cavs, and that's going to get terrible ratings. The NBA has a big problem with being top-heavy. Baseball has the same exact issue. Literally the same exact issue. What can I tell? I think the game is, quite frankly, in the regular season, getting pretty unwatchable, and I can explain to you why. You could have a team that's up 20 in the first quarter, and then by halftime, the game's freaking tied. Yeah. There's literally no point to go through the ebbs and flow, the roller coaster, watching a game, unless you're a diehard of that team, when you could just turn it on with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's the same shit.
Good example from last night's Lakers game. Look at last night's Lakers game. The Lakers were up 20-something in the first half, By the middle to the end of the third quarter, it was a tie ball game, and it was a brand new game.
I just think that exactly there's so much lack of effort in like the first 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and that changes come to playoffs, and even close to then. But it's weird, and I don't know how to fix it, to be honest with you. I think Adam Silver's trying to, because he knows that nobody wants to see a game where it's just I'll hoist up the 3, I'll hoist up a 3, I'll hoist up a 3, I'll hoist up a 3, and just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's freaking boring. College basketball is more back and forth and fun because of the lack of that, and you have teams that play scrappy and play hard and can compete. NBA is just like it's weird right now, and I don't know how to fix it because there's definitely not a breath of talent.
I also think that the playoff format is killing the league. You can't have 20 teams make the playoffs. I know they're like, oh, they're not technically in the playoffs until they win the play-in game. But 20 teams make the playoffs or are in the play-in game. 10 teams from each conference. To me, that's just too much. The regular season doesn't really mean much because you still have a chance to get in with 20 freaking teams making the postseason. That's the last thing I will say on that. All right, boys, one more game we're breaking down today. And Hefe, I know this is a game you absolutely love. We're going to the Clippers, taking on the Chicago Bulls. Clippers coming in 31-26. They're 12-16 on the road, while the Bulls are coming in 23-35, and they're 10-20 at home. The Bulls are a better road team than they are at home, which is a little odd. Injury report, Norman Powell has been ruled out for the Clippers, as well as Trenton Flowers, whoever that is. On the other side for the Bulls, Zach Collins, game-time decision. Jalen Smith out. Kevin Huerter, game-time decision. And Ayu Dosunmu and Nikola Vucevic, game-time decision. So a lot of injuries. We have to wait for some news in this one. Hefe, over to you. What do you got?
This is a simple game for me. I don't care who's playing. This is a spot that I pick blindly, and I think I'm 4-0 in it. It is the old West Coast or East Coast team finishing up a road trip on the opposite coast, and all they want to do is freaking get home. And that's the spot that the Clippers find themselves. Now, granted, they have one more road game coming up after this, but can you guess where it is?
LA against Lakers.
It's against the Lakers. So even though it's on the road, they're going home. They get to sleep in their own beds, and they want to get the F out of Chicago because if it was anything like New York, it's cold. This line is now up to 9.5 on ESPN Bet, and I'm taking it. And little side note, the Bulls are 1-0 against Clippers. They beat them in LA earlier in January, granted. That was when Zach LaVine was still a Bull. But I love this spot. I love this spot because I just think, forget about the talent on the court. It's just about the effort that these players are going to give. And I'm talking about the Clippers here. They have been in Utah, at Milwaukee, at Indiana, and at Detroit. And by the way, they've lost 3 games in a row. I know that Chicago is probably the worst out of those teams that I just mentioned, maybe not Utah, but they just want to get freaking home, man. They have not played at home since before the All-Star break. How about that?
Crazy.
So give me the Bulls. I see it at plus 9.5. I know it's written here at 8.5, but I'm liking it. And now that there's no Norm Powell, I like it even more. Of course, this is James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. I understand that, but Norm Powell's a big. I forgot. Now I change everything. Clippers alt line minus 14.5. How could I forget about Ben Simmons?
I agree. Well, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, JD. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Sometimes the best play is no play, no action for me on this dog.
I would.
JD, what do you got?
Yeah, I would expect that from you. Yeah. No balls.
Yeah, for me, this is going to be a stay away game, but because I'm actually what like Hefe said, it makes a lot of sense. And then like the Clippers are just not a good road team. They've just not been all season long. But I also think this could be a Clippers get right spot, kind of like all at the same time. And I think that's why this number is continuing to actually like move up. But that being said, Clippers and that many points on the road. I'm just not going to lay that. So for me, this is going to be a pass.
Wait. What is it, JD?
Sometimes the best play is no play.
Bang. Beautifully done. All right, boys. Let's get to break it down for our breakdown segment, but we still have to go over our best bets. We have a little over 800 people here, and the people are waiting for those best bets, so I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's roll the graphic. Let's get into the action. Hefe, how many best bets do you have? With 1? Do you have 2? Do you have 9? Do you have 14? What do you got?
2.
Very good.
See, we'll roll with the Bulls. You guys don't want to be part of it? No problem.
I'm rooting for you.
Don't like making money, and that's okay. You're in charge of your own lives. And the other one is the Pistons. We're taking them with the points, even though I feel good enough to take the money line, but the value is not there. Weirdly, I wanted it over 200, but I get it. They're at home and they're hot. So Pistons with the points, Bulls with the points.
I'll go quickly here. 2 from me. Michigan State plus 3.5. Pistons plus 4.5. Let's cut cash both dogs outright. JD, close us out, brother. What you got?
I am also on the Pistons plus 4.5. That is as actually like as far as the NBA, that is my favorite play. Nothing on tonight's slate is even close to like that for actually me. Then I think I sent in a college play. I got to remember which one I did.
Solid. Must have been really important.
Yeah, must have been a really good one. I believe it was the Missouri State Belmont game. I actually played that game over 147. To me, the line is just low.
Well, you know what they say about when Missouri State and Belmont get together. Throw out the record books, man. It's the game of the millennium.
Yep. I will be flying out right after the show.
Where's Belmont? Where are you flying to?
I thought I was going to say Pennsylvania, but I have a feeling it's not.
Definitely.
Is it?
I'm going to say their state starts with a K, I think. I just don't know which K.
I typed in Belmont, and it's telling me about a restaurant down the street, so not that one. It's in Tennessee. We all do that, of course. Of course. That's the best part of the show we haven't done, by the way, in a very long time. Is guess where that college is located.
I was gonna real quick. I was gonna say when David threw out his parlay and for whatever reason threw in what I assume is a real university called High Point, but I knew that we would never get that.
I actually know right that one is.
Where's High Point, JD?
It is in North Carolina.
Okay, that's not fair. You live there. There we go.
Not
yes. As actually far as the Belmont game, yes, over. I had this game more in the 153 range. These actually teams have already played once this season. Belmont won 85-68. I don't think that the Belmont is going to win by actually that like many, but as far as the points, I still think are going to be there. So give me the over 147.
There we go. All right, boys. It's been a fun show. We've broken down a lot of games. We've answered a lot of questions. Chat, you've been fantastic. My guy Aiden, my guy my Jay, who's a new guy around here. We appreciate you tuning in. David, as always, Joe, Jabo, all the boys. If I forgot any of you, you know I apologize. P. Cisco's new in here. We appreciate you too. Everyone who is here, we appreciate you guys commenting, giving us some content to talk about. Hefe, any parting words for the people before we get the fuck out of here today?
Yeah.
You like that, JD?
Everybody?
Got a little hype on that.
Just got a text message from Alpha and JD on the side. Play of the millennium is the Bulls. They said
Yes.
F the points. Their words, not mine.
Yep. That's your final words? That's your parting gift for the people?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Everyone, let's have a big day. Let's cash all our bets. And JD, do the thing with the thing. We appreciate it, David.
Today was a great show. Chat, you guys rock. Tonight, let's have a big night, guys. Let's fucking win. Let's go.
Let's fucking win. And guys, we will not be back tomorrow, but I'm here to tell you right now that the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are beating Michigan. Fuck you if you don't believe me. We'll see you Friday. Peace.